Marceline is back with a long ass video essay. It's time I talk about the Lisa series. Finally! Jesus. Yes, I'm going to be covering my thoughts and feelings on Lisa the First, Lisa the Painful, and Lisa the Joyful. There will be mentions of the fan games and the definitive edition, but as a whole, this video is mainly about the OG series. Before we begin, two things. The lovely KurokiHollow made this thumbnail, and to be honest, it's so pretty and I love it, baby! They are so talented, and you should support them. Their links are in the description, but be careful though, they do make the spicy stuff. You know, the not safe for work stuff. Ooh. So like, you know, commission them, support them, follow them, show them some love. Or else. The series is dark, and I'm not going to censor myself. You can't. The game's dark themes are front and center. To hide that would be lying to you, and a disservice to the Lisa series. So I'm gonna edit a little box thingy that will tell you what content it has. Please, 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 if you see anything in that list that you can't handle, don't watch the video or play the series. It's okay. Oh yeah, spoilers too! I want to start off this video essay with how I was introduced to the series, because in my opinion it perfectly displays why even though it is a masterpiece, quite a few people do not want to play it. I was on Steam, and Lisa the Painful popped up in my discovery queue. I noticed that my bestie played the game, so I DM'd her on Steam. Yes, this was before Discord was a thing, and before me and my bestie became besties. This is how long I've been playing Lisa for! I asked her, hey, this game popped up in my discovery queue, and like, I've seen you play it. Do you recommend the game? She then replied, the game is amazing. I remember a lot about it. It's special like that. However, it is dark. And it is direct about it too. Check it out, but if any part of the game is too much for you, it's okay to stop. Oh, it's funny as hell. She's not wrong. The game is funny! But no, the Lisa series is really dark, and it makes you a part of it, which doesn't happen often in stories in general. And, to be honest, it's understandable why it's off-putting for so many. It's one thing to suggest that something happened to a character and you had to put the pieces together, like, oh no, there's a bruise on her arm, or there's a t-shirt that's bloodied, what has happened to them, etc. In Lisa, you are told what it is and you are a part of it. For example, in Lisa the First, there's symbolic imagery and it's artsy and abstract, and we learn that Lisa's father Martin indeed sexually abused her. There's no interpretation like, oh, maybe it was physical or maybe it was verbal. No, we are told directly it was sexual abuse. We see a naked Martin, for fuck's sake. It's one thing to have dark themes. It's another to display it right in front of our faces. Not even Silent Hill 2 showed us James going into water. We see Lisa hanging herself not once but twice in the menu screens. Playing the series is shocking and distressing. It's also why it's so memorable and unique too. Not many games do this. It's also why people like MatPat won't go near the series. More on him later. So consider this your second warning. Back off now, because it's gonna get dark real fast. Ah, yes, where it all starts. This game focuses on the inner mind of Lisa Armstrong, a child who is a victim to sexual abuse from her father, Martin Armstrong. It's also the only game where you play as a character the series is named after. The decision to name the series after her is actually very clever, because even though she commits suicide after the events of the first game, her presence will haunt the other games like a ghost. Plus, including Lisa's name in all 3 games is a cute nod to the series that inspired the Lisa games. That is, the Mother series, which has an important message about the importance of mothers. It must be mentioned that Lisa the First is the shortest game in the series. Lisa the First was also inspired by Yumaniki, an artsy game exploring the mind of Medotsky, with a lot of abstract imagery that's up to the player to interpret. Hey, look at that! Both Medotsky and Lisa try to fly at the end of the game, of course with different techniques. Was that in poor taste? Good, get used to this type of humour. Anywho, I've heard a lot of people dismiss Lisa the First as a ripoff, a lazy clone of Yumaniki. I mean, the gameplay is almost one-to-one, right? Those people must be correct. It's a waste of your time and money, right? That's 100% a lie. The game is free, and yes, Lisa the First is heavily inspired by the Lonely Girl Simulator. However, it is the most anti-abstract game. Let me explain. There are weird and abstract imagery, it's pretty dope, but then you also have Tricky Rick. I wonder what this could be. It's a dick. He represents a dick. As mentioned before, here is a naked Martin. I do not wish to give you more examples. Okay, full of lows. Look at this penis-shaped map. Lisa the First clearly wants to be its own thing. In my opinion, it sets a foundation of what to expect throughout the series in terms of handling dark themes. So, what are my feelings on the first game? Does it achieve what it sets out to do? Or is it simply an edgy game? Or maybe it's impactful? Well, when I first played this game, I cried a lot. It's a very stressful experience. From the get-go, you know this won't be a lovely time. I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach what was happening, but I just didn't want to believe it. I knew somehow that there wasn't going to be a happy ending. The Martin spiders remind me of the headcrab creature from John Carpenter's The Thing. Not only are they freaky from a visual point of view, but gameplay wise, they act like they want to stop Lisa from pushing forward. Martin's face, consistently popping up throughout the game, hammers how Lisa can't escape the trauma he has caused her. Hey, kind of like Brad with Lisa the Painful. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. I also really appreciate the gameplay is just collecting things and there is no combat. Yeah, you go a chart for chart, but I mean RPG combat wise, like painful and joyful. Lisa is a child. What can she do? Remember, this is all in her mind. She feels so powerless that she doesn't even give herself weapons to fight Martin. Jesus, this game is so depressing. But what really broke me are the endings. Both of them. Before the ending happens, you return home and it cuts to a naked Martin, telling Lisa to stop wasting time. Honestly, after going through such an abstract, not abstract trip, seeing this dose of realism is so vile and gross. So, the normal ending, Lisa is trapped in a void that is covered in Martin's face, and no matter where she goes, she cannot run away. Martin tells her this is her fate. There's no escape. It's simply too much, and we learn later that she takes her own life. The true ending, you simply have to pick up the VHS tape once Lisa is teleported to the White Room, and use it. We see what appears to be Lisa's mama. She's crying and saying that she is sorry and she loves Lisa, but then Martin's face appears. The game ends. This broke me. It's just one of those moments where it's so filled with despair and hopelessness. You really do feel powerless. You want to help Lisa. You want to save Lisa, but you can't. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing Lisa can do. She's trapped in this forever. It's horrible. The game is clearly about how memory can impact someone. Lisa is struggling and trying to escape the abuse this monster has done to her, yet it's never enough. As someone who's been through a lot as a child, I'm so grateful that I'm in a much happier place. I'm not alone. I have people I adore with me, and that makes me happy. So seeing Lisa like this, it's horrible. It's depressing. It's painful. And I wonder, what if I was in her situation? What if I couldn't escape what I've been through? And it's difficult. You deserved so much better, Lisa Armstrong. I would also like to mention that I really like how Martin is handled in this game. Yes, he's a vile piece of shit, he's a monster, and I hold no love or sympathy for him. However, you can't say he's one-dimensional. A matter of fact, he's quite humanized. When you enter the bar that's filled with Martins, it implies that he has an issue with alcoholism, and we also see a nice version of him that suggests he may have been once kind and loved Lisa. Of course, this is all in Lisa's mind, so we don't know for sure, but in my opinion, these moments tell us that Martin isn't just a monster. He was a human being like us, who became a monster. This type of character writing is used throughout the series, and I appreciate it. If you like Lisa the Painful and Joyful but haven't played the first, please play the first game, because sadly if you don't play it, Lisa in the other games kind of represent a villain, especially Joyful. No joke, Buzzle has a monologue about how she was the villain and Brad is the good guy. It sucks because Lisa is a victim of sexual abuse, and depicting her as a villain is pretty nasty. Play Lisa the First, because it really displays the horrors that Lisa went through, and in my opinion, it's an incredible experience that I won't forget. oh baby, it's the big one. This is the game of the series. It's the one. It's the guy. Brad Armstrong. It's the guy. The martial artist man. Sexy boy. Mr. Armstrong, bye bye. Or to quote Martin, worthless shit, kid. Okay, I'll stop. Lisa the Painful is the most popular game in the series. And that's for a good reason too. It's massive, especially for an indie game. Tons of bosses, 30 party members to recruit, painful choices, slick gameplay mechanics, and of course, a story that you can't forget. So, let's begin by talking about the game's brutal intro. When the game starts, it doesn't pull any punches. Get it? Because Bradley boy is getting beaten the fuck up by bullies? I'm sorry, but don't you worry though, there's more where that came from. We see Bradley's home. It's a mess, a wreck, a waste. And there he is, Martin. He hasn't changed a bit. And bottles are thrown, and Christ, do I need to explain this? This is child abuse. It ends with us watching Bradley cry. This is just painful. Again, unlike other stories, this is so direct. Brad was abused so bad as a child, physically and verbally. His home is a wreck. This is what Brad went through growing up. Just like Lisa, he's powerless to stop him. We witness this. We are a part of this. We control Brad. In my opinion, this is why these dark moments hurt really bad. In a way, by playing this game, interacting with it, we are connected to this moment, and it leaves a mark on us. But wait, the intro isn't over yet. It flashes forward a decent amount of time to the future. We know this because Bradley has a full beard now. He's holding a blue pill called Joy. Then, we hear a baby crying, and drop the bass. This is foreshadowing that Brad is going to hurt Buddy in the future, even though he has good intentions. Brad then takes the baby to his friends. Their reactions is so good writing, because it lets us know that a baby has gotten them all worked up. It hits us that this world is a world without women in it. Oh no, what a nightmare. Oh snap, the baby is a girl? Double, oh no, what a nightmare. But wait, we also learn about Rando. He has an army, and is best suited to take care of the baby. Yet Bradley says no, and wants to keep the child for himself. No one can know about this either. This is where we see how Brad's abuse is influencing his decision. He's being really selfish and reckless, but it's tough to blame him. His own sister committed suicide, and he couldn't save her. He was powerless to do so. He blames himself, but now, a baby girl in a world without women, she will be abused too, like Lisa. Brad won't allow it! It's sad because Randall would totally be a decent person to take care of her, and Brad is blind to that. All because this is Brad's second chance. I get why Brad is like this, but this is a horrible reason to keep that baby, and it appears that Lisa still lingers on Brad's mind. Then, it cuts to a very powerful montage of Buddy growing up. It's storytelling without saying a word. Brad holding the Joy, the team making a little underground floor for Buddy, Brad still seeing Martin and baby Lisa and using Joy to make them disappear, Buddy taking the chance to explore the outside while Brad is lying there with beer and Joy. Christ. Of course, Brad catches her and she's crying, Brad dropping the Joy, making a mask for Buddy which allows her to see the world without others knowing she's a girl, the makeup, the mouth. We also see that Brad still can't deal with Martin and Lisa, so he looks for the Joy he dropped. Sitting down, what a waste. And then the intro ends. This is powerful. It's beautiful. No words at all. We understand what is happening. For a game that came out in 2014, a lot of devs, no, writers can learn from Lisa. So much is said with no words. This is visual storytelling at its best. Here comes the plot. Buddy is missing. Oh no, what a nightmare. And Cheats died too. Oh no, what a night. Actually, we really didn't know much about him anyway. Sorry bro. I didn't forget that Terry is with us. Don't worry, I'll cover all 30 party members. Kill me. And finally, the adventure begins! This is what Lisa the Painful is about. Where's Buddy? Where is the body? Catch the body. This is truly a great way to start and motivate the player. Brad loves Buddy, Buddy goes missing, Brad looks for Buddy, and go! Now here's a part of the video where it gets a bit messy, because there's too much to cover. So, I want to start by talking about the story first, then I'll talk about the gameplay. FYI, I'm going to lob the choices with the gameplay section, just to make things a bit tidy. I know there are story moments within the choices, I will cover them all, don't worry, it's just for to make the video be more organised. While Brad is recruiting men, fighting joy mutants, and making them choices, he he meets a character called Buzzo, who appears to be in charge of distributing joy. He's going to be very important later on. Brad also reunites with Rick, who wants nothing to do with Brad and tries to get away from him, yet Bradley, wanting information, starts beating him up. And even when Rick tells him that Sticky has her, he doesn't stop. I love the visual storytelling with Lisa watching Brad. It tells us it's a reminder that Brad has failed Lisa and he can't fail Buddy, and he goes berserk. This is excellent writing. There's also flashbacks before, you know, the flash that made all the women go bye-bye. We learn that Brad was into painkillers, he ran his own MMA school, and he hanged out with Rick. Oh snap, is that a Lisa and a Buddy? Bernie! Fuck! These flashbacks really tell us that Brad was struggling way before the Flash, especially the one involving painkillers. It makes so much sense why Brad would want to take joy. It numbs away the pain. These are good additions to the story. We also meet a dude called Rando. He's pretty chill, yet very powerful. More on him later. Eventually, Brad will find the cave Buddy's hiding at. Buddy tells Brad she now knows how important she is. You know, to save humanity and the world. People care about her. People need her. Bradley is not having it, saying things can go back to normal. Of course, normal is not the right word, and, Buddy, that line has been crossed. Things will never be quote-unquote normal. Then, a bombshell hits Brad, because Buddy now knows what joy is and what they can do to you, and that Brad is addicted to them. Fun fact, joy mutants can perma-kill your party members. Damn it, gameplay stuff after the story. Anyway, Buddy wants to live away from Brad and start a new life, fulfill her new purpose. Brad is like, no! They will do stuff to you, and then, then Buddy says Sticky's shoulder helped her, and Brad is in rage mode, yelling at Buddy, telling her what else he did, even though Buddy said they just talked. Buddy is scared and is being verbally abused by Brad, and Brad forces Buddy to join him. Yeah, this is really tough to watch. You can tell Brad does care for Buddy, but he's simply not handling it well, and that's no fault of his own. His abuse has made him wary of others, and he won't risk Buddy getting hurt. And then there is the yelling, just like Martin. Like, he's scaring Buddy, this poor girl. FYI, Brad, next time you should use a technique Martin used on you and yell, "Worthless shit kid," and then throw a bottle at Buddy. I'm sorry, that was such a bad joke, but I need humor. This is depressing. After they leave the cave, Buzzo returns. Yeah, he hates Bradley so much. And oh god, he forces Brad to take joy in front of Buddy. Why does Buzzo hate Brad so much? We'll talk more about that later. In my opinion, this is one of Brad's lowest moments. He's being shamed in front of Buddy. Plus Buzzo is making sure Brad turns into a monster. Wait, I thought he already was one. Then Randall's men ambush the Joy Boys. And look, it's a wild Sticky! Brad wakes up and now he must fight whatever the fuck that is. Nasty. Then Brad wakes up and it's time to get pieces for a boat to visit the island because Buddy stole one. He gets the pieces needed for the boat, leaves his mates behind, and off they go to the island. What happens next is, well, painful. Turns out that Martin is still alive and is looking after Buddy, the same man who sexually abused Lisa and abused Brad, is still alive. Brad can't take it and has to kill him. What makes the situation even worse is that Martin was looking after Buddy and even told her that joy is bad and she shouldn't touch it. In her eyes, Martin is just an old geezer but cares about her. Plus, technically, Martin is Buddy's grandfather. She even protects Martin when you fight him. Brad hits her. He's doing what his own father did to him. Brad is an abuser. That's it. It's so clear. He's an abusive parent, just like Martin. This situation is so messy because Buddy doesn't understand and Brad can't hold back or explain it to her. He can't. He can fight now. He has power. He won't allow this monster to live. In the end, Martin cries out that he's sorry for what he has done to Lisa and Brad. In this moment, it seems Martin has changed and bettered himself. Of course, we just don't know. Brad won't let us know. To Brad, he is a monster. He deserves death. To be clear, Martin is a bad person. Again, I do appreciate that he's not one-dimensional. Lisa the First did that, and I'm glad Austen further expanded Martin's character. It makes him more complex. A monster who had it coming, but nevertheless complex. Then, we enter the final area, Rando's base. This is who from the very beginning we were told Buddy should have been given to. It makes sense now. He has a really cool base, an army, supplies. Brad then finds Buddy, who escaped the island earlier. Brad tries to convince her to return home with him, but of course, Buddy wants none of it. Brad is trying his best to be a father, but after everything he's done, why would Buddy want anything to do with him? She has the right to stay away from Brad. She runs into the Rando army, but before that your party members return, and none of them will help Brad. For selfish reasons, for the world, it doesn't matter. They were never Brad's friends. Not really. Be gone. Then we have the most iconic line said by Brad. I've been dead for 35 years. Today is the day I live. At first, this sounds epic, you know. He won't stop to save Buddy. But really, this is depressing and scary. This man can't even consider the fact that Rando and his army are the best chance for Buddy to save humanity. Nah, Brad only sees them as another hurdle to be crushed. So, who's left? Rando. Mother of Christ, I know I said gameplay stuff after story, but let me just say the second I saw Rando using buster punches, it hit me like a truck what was happening. My heart dropped. The tone of the fight changed so much. Oh, Rando. And yeah, I'm going ahead of script, but I just want to say, it's so depressing how Rando protects Buddy, his little sister, from their abusive father, unlike Brad, who failed to protect Lisa from Martin. Like the connections, Jesus Christ, man, this is such a depressing game. Rando deserves so much better. And it's over. The army is dead. Rando is done for. Brad is on his last breaths. He has destroyed any chance for Buddy to live a happier life and potentially save humanity. Brad again tries to explain himself. It doesn't matter. It's too late. Then Buddy tells him that he hurt her the most, and Brad dies. No, we can't have that. We all knew this was coming. Brad turns into a joy mutant and mates his way to Buddy. The end! Dun dun dun! Wasn't that a lovely time? No, this fucking game's too painful for a reason. This hurts! Man, this game hurts a lot. And I haven't talked about the gameplay yet! This is just grim. This story is no different to Lisa the First. This is about how trauma and abuse can impact you and it won't go away. It makes Brad an awful person. I will admit that I do not like Brad, however, you can't call him evil. It's so clear that he's a broken man. He's trying his best, but even his best ends up hurting Buddy. I also feel so bad for Buddy and Rando. And let's be honest, it's not like Buddy hates Brad, but the fact that Brad can't see an alternative option, it's just frustrating, you know? It's just And this all goes back to Martin, the man who abused Lisa to the point of suicide. He abused Brad to the point that he can't function as a father, and made so many bad decisions. The story is such an unforgettable experience. It's amazing, honestly. And unfortunately, the story is also why people don't really want to play it. Child abuse, drug usage, the ending, it's all heavy stuff, and it's front and center. The game doesn't hide it. With such a depressing ending that becomes horrifying, yeah, I get why some people don't want to play this. It's a shame. I think more people should play this game, but it's understandable. Now it's time to talk about the gameplay. Oh baby, it's just as fucking good as the story, and depressing, and sad. The game uses a turn-based combat system. However, there are a few twists. For example, Brad uses his special moves, or you, the player, can use the combo system. Put in the combo correctly and Brad will dish out extra damage and do the special move. This is so cool because it makes turn-based combat a little more engaging, and it helps to make Brad feel like a fighter since he had his own school. Some of the other party members also use combos. The Joy Withdrawal. Bradley boy is in love with them blue pills, and unfortunately made him addicted to them. If you don't take one, then Bradley will gain the Joy Withdrawal status. What does it do? Good question. Minus 90% attack, minus 50% defense, minus 60% agility, minus 30% max HP, minus 30% luck, minus 60% evasion, minus 1 attack speed, minus 80% hit rate for 20 to 30 turns? This game is already hard enough, Jesus! Now, if you're a cuck and you take Joy, your stats will increase. Hit rate will go up by 80%, crits will go up by 100%, defense up by 200%, special defense up by 200%. Not bad indeed. The item is clearly meant to be used to make fights and bosses easier. However, knowing what it does to you, it's ultimately best not to take it. If I may say, as someone who isn't a fan of drugs, I never make Brad take Joy when I replay the game. I only ever did it one time, and that was to get the unique ending that comes with it and the achievement. Plus, this is a really amazing way to help us connect to Brad. Being withdrawal sucks, but by making it part of the gameplay, we feel Brad's pain. Plus, some party members are also Joy addicts. That's good because Joy is a drug that's out there in the world of Lisa, so it makes sense that some people use them too. Permadeaths! Yeah, this gameplay mechanic is also why people stay the fuck away from this game. Joy mutants, bosses, hell, even just regular dudes can use permadeath moves. If this lands, on your party member, they are dead. Not KO'd and can be revived by an item, I mean dead forever. Unless it hits Brad, he gets a KO. Not even the game will give him the mercy of death. Ha ha ha, nah, you worthless shit kid, you gotta suffer till the end. This also makes the game more memorable, because 99% of the time, devs wouldn't do such a thing. Sure, characters can die, or units with no names are expendable, but to kill off a party member in fights? Yeah, they wouldn't do that. The only other game series that does that to my knowledge is the Valkyrie Chronicles. I love this mechanic so much, because it hammers how dangerous the world of Lisa is. People get killed in seconds. No wonder Brad kept Buddy a secret. Hello, Editing Mama here. I forgot to mention the Russian Roulette minigame that Brad has to be forced to take part in. Basically, you have to use your teammates, and if they lose in the game, you know, they're permanently killed off. What's very important to understand is that Brad won't do it himself. It's a game over if you have no one else. Which tells us how little the team means to Brad. He only cares about Buddy. The rest? Fuck him. Campfires! You know how some games have areas where you can rest up and recover all your health, SP, and remove any bad statuses? In Lisa, there's a risk when you use one. Items can be stolen from you, party members may leave you or be kidnapped. You may be heavily poisoned, or you may receive a gift, or even worse, nothing happens. Ooh. I like this system a lot because it reinforces the cool world of Lisa. And yes, there are places that you can pay someone to watch over you while you rest, which will prevent any bad things from happening. The choices. Throughout the game, you will have to make a tough choice, and they do affect gameplay. The first one is kind of a tutorial on how they work, give up your items, or a Terry. This is a no-brainer, you barely have any items, Terry's way more useful, obviously. The next one is Buzzo forcing Brad to make a choice, his arm or a life of a party member. This one really gives you a taste of what's to come. You need party members, so losing an arm is no big deal. Wrong! Bradley Boy will cave Joy more, and you lose the ability to combo with that arm. The combos for Brad's specials changes. This is a tough choice. This isn't just a story moment, but it affects gameplay. Also, can you tell Buzzo really hates Brad? Buzzo's back, baby, and this time, oh for fuck's sake, 3 men's lives, or Buddy's nipple. Yeah. Technically, you lose nothing if you go with the nipple, but it's Buddy. The person Brad loves. It's Buddy. Do you really want her to suffer? I know it's Buzzo's doing, but you had to make the choice! I also love that you get her nipple as an item. Like, what the fuck, game? But no! It still carries on! Buzzo will give you another choice. Your arm or all of your items. He does say equipment too, but the game doesn't take your equipment. Hashtag Fitch Lisa the Painful. Or another choice appears. Ask him a question. Why are you doing this? And it leads to losing an arm and all your items. How fun. So much for trying to weasel your way out of it. Again, this is such a tough decision. You need your items! But if you already lost one arm, losing the other one will lead to the loss of combos completely, and Brad will cave Joy even more! I think we can confirm that Buzzo really hates Brad. I wonder why. Maybe it has to do with Elisa. There are smaller choices like hugging Brad at the end or not, hearing Martin out. These don't change the outcome. Brad still turns into a mutant, and Martin dies. There is one that is sparing Rick and Sticky. It does have some consequences, but for the most part, you cannot change the course of the game. The party members. There are 30 of them. For fuck's sake, there's gonna be a quickfire round. Let's go! Ajit. He's the tall guy party member. He's pretty cool. You have to not take Joy for him to join you. Battleborn. Buy him and he joins you. Pretty boring to be honest. Birdie Hall. One of my 3 favourite party members. He was my first Lisa cosplay I ever did. And my first ever YouTube video was about him. I love him because he's kind of like Brad, dealing with loss. However, he has a happier life. It makes him interesting. Bo. I love his design. Buckets. Win all rounds of the funny Russian gun game. Yeah, I only got him for the achievement. Fuck doing all that to get him. Buffer though. He's a boss that joins Brad after you best him. He does join you late game, so you don't really use much of him, but he's still cool regardless. Plus, there's a theory that he was added due to the Lisa Kickstarter award. Carp. Another one of my 3 favourite party members. When he says a line when you have to fight him, breaks my heart. Clint Olympic. 500 mads for him. Yeah, I heard he's good. Crisp. You have to hold his lover hostage for him to join you. He does not like Brad. Understandable. Dick. Go Power Rangers. Fardy. A lot of people don't seem to understand that he was sexually abused when he was a hostage in the Gents Hair Club. It's why he's always depressed. I don't blame them though, because Austin used him as a joke. Poor dude. Fly. Mario Kart time. Goth. we don't like him. Definitive Edition campfire scene, he wants to do something with Jack, a child. Yeah, let's make him play the silly Russian gun game. Geese, I made a video about him. He's so cute. Harvey, fish go brrr, lawyer goes object. Jack, the only child party member. I don't really want a kid to team up with Brad. Mad Dog, Austin says he's worse than Martin. Oh no! Nern, he won't shut up. Olan, I like this guy. He's chill. Ollie, I don't know. Percy, I just don't care. Queen Roger, on paper, I love them. In battle, they suck. I do love the requirement to recruit them though. Rage, a super fun combo character. Too bad he's a piece of shit. Rooster, hold hostage his golden chicken and he will join you. All things considered, he's pretty decent towards Brad. RT, in my opinion, the most underrated party member. Shocklord, the other favourite party member. I cosplayed him and I also made a video about him too. Plus, he's also the only one who's loyal to Brad. He's the only party member who refuses to fight him at the end. Birdie, Carp, and Shocklord. Those three are my favourites. Sonny. Haha, as a wrestling fan, I know what he represents. He's fun. Terry Hints. The very first party member you get. He also writes the hints posters and teaches the player about changing up your strategy when you fight, since he does so little damage. We love Terry. His campfire scene with Brad is cute too. I don't agree with how it makes Lisa disappear, because Brad doesn't interact much with Terry, but I'm being petty. It's a very wholesome scene. Tiger Man? Hotline Miami isn't Lisa? Yazan. El Ghetto! If you understand that reference, you're amazing. And that's it! These characters all have unique skills. It's very cool that they have their own ways to recruit them, and I recommend mixing it up with them. Quickie time! I love how Wally and Randall's mask break when you deal a certain amount of damage to them, and they start to use different skills. Randall gets weaker and starts to cry. Baby, no! It also makes the fight feel more impactful. Plus, Brad getting the scream and cry skill during the final fight, you know the skills that Joy Mutants have, is a really nice touch. And I love how name changes too during battles. Martin becomes father, Randall changes to broken man. This stuff hurts you in the best way possible. That's the gameplay. It's honestly incredible. This is up there with Silent Hill 2. The gameplay is part of the story. Even till this day, devs struggle and they keep gameplay separate to the story. Yet one man made a game back in 2014 using RPG Maker and made such a powerful and beautiful gameplay system. This man is talented! Compared to the other games in the series, in my opinion, this is the best one, both in story and gameplay. The final game in the series, and in my opinion, the weakest one. Let's talk about it. Lisa the Joyful is a direct follow-up to Lisa the Painful, and you play as Buddy. In this adventure, she goes into the path of blood. She's arrogant, aggressive, and honestly really distasteful, especially towards Rando. I don't blame her though. Her actions and behaviour were the result of Brad, and he is a broken guy thanks to Martin, which ties all the way back to Lisa the First. Oh damn. The story also gives more lore about the world and the characters in Lisa. We learn that Rando is Brad's adopted son, which makes Brad even more of a horrible person. My guy, you threw bottles at your own son like Martin did to you. If you're gonna do that, at least quote the man and say, "Worth as shit kid, you fuck." We learn more about the warlords and the list. We also learn that Lisa used Bernie, aka Buzzo. I use the word lightly because it's clearly meant to play out she's a villain. I'm not joking, Buzzo blames her in the end. I don't know if I would use that word because she was a child of sexual abuse by her own father multiple times. I think a better word would be acted in desperation. In the end of the day, Buddy kills the warlords, fights Yuddo, has a weird dream thing, Yuddo dies, Buzzo turns into a monster, and the end, with two endings with their own variations. I totally blushed over a lot, and that's because I'm going to explain why this game is kind of meh compared to the other games. As a game itself, it's pretty decent, but as a Lisa game, I really don't like it. Before I talk about the bad, there are moments that I adore. Everything with Randall is amazing, from his gameplay to him interacting with Buddy. The ending that makes me cry and I consider the canon ending is the one where Buddy is a mutant and holding her baby. I don't know why, but this is beautiful. Even as a monster, she knows that this is her baby. It's a very fitting end, and considering the themes of the series, seeing the baby suggests hope. But seeing Buddy also tells us that humanity is doomed. The scene with Brad is so emotional, and the music plays a big factor into it. Like, just hearing the music again, it breaks me. It's so sad. Emotional damage. Sweetheart. And that's it. That's all I liked about in this game. Time to talk about the rest of it. Oh no. The combat sucks, and it's stale. You know when you decide to take away the party members and you only have Randall as a temporary party member? This means your damage output is lowered, and the damage incoming is more focused on Buddy. This means everyone is super tanky, and Buddy will go down quicker. I'm not joking, it's so bad that I only ever use Mend and the cheapest quick time sword attack Buddy uses, because if you don't, you die! Of course, there are items, but Austin knew that items alone won't work, so Mend is too powerful. This makes the combat slow and boring. What about Joy? The game says to take it. It does help a bit, but the problem isn't fixed. And how about those who don't want to take Joy? Isn't it funny how I can get the mutant ending by taking no Joy? Austin, if you wanted to make this work, just make Buddy take Joy in cutscenes before each Warlord fight. Not to mention, the Warlords apart from Big L, Dice, and Cindy feel reused from Painful, Vega, Hollywood clone, Mr. Beautiful, Wally clone, but worse, Lardy, Sticky clone with an extra gun. In my opinion, it feels like Austin ran out of ideas. To add insult to injury, the quick time attack move Buddy has gets boring really quick. Combos are just better. The Joy mutants have been nerfed, but their health has been buffed. What made them special, aka permadeath, is gone, because there's no party members. Okay. And look at this, it's a Martin reskin. Like, what the fuck? Okay, Big Dick Marcy, how would you fix this? I don't know. Maybe not trying to fit so much in a short game? Plus, Austin adds very questionable things to the game. I'm surprised no one talks about it. Nitro Rad didn't, nor H-Bomber Guy. They are Bolo, sexually assaulting Buddy, a child, if you choose to hold on to Rando, and Buddy has a move called Flash, which flusters the men, a child showing off her naked chest to men. What the fuck? I am always for art expression, and the Lisa series is indeed dark. I do not wish to police art. If Austin wants to add this, so be it. However, it does make me wonder what type of person adds this to their story. Like, why over and over again that men always like women to be sexually assaulted as part of their story, part of their character growth? I do not know Austin, meaning I can't say if he's a good or bad person. What I can say is he is very weird, especially about women.
Austin, a little weird about women. I don't know, don't.
Not even Postal 1 or the Fear and Hunger series goes there. Those games are way darker than Lisa, by the way. You may ask, what about Lisa the First? That game was about Lisa trying to escape her trauma in her mind. Bolo is doing the bad in the moment to Buddy, aka a child. By the way, I know it's tied to the ending if Buddy gets a kid, but number one, it's still broken because how does the mutant Buddy who dropped Rando get a baby? And number two, you could have had Rando talk to Buddy about the idea that one day she'll need to find a man to, you know, a simple yes or no would have worked fine. And the flash move is just disgusting. You have to understand, Austin took the time to add this, to make this. I guess it's just so important to the world of Lisa. I know there's a lot of fucked up moments in the first two games, but this feels like overkill. And the thing is, it's not like Austin can't add darker stuff. There's an ending dialogue in Joyful that implies that Martin either made Brad watch him sexually assault Lisa or take part in it. This, in my opinion, is good writing. We don't know for sure what happened, and it also gives us a glimpse of the abuse Lisa went through. She was victimized by Martin and by Brad against his will. It helps us to understand more why Brad is still haunted by Lisa. Shout out to my bestie. When we were talking about this, she explained why she felt it was necessary, and I totally agree with her. I will admit that I thought this ending was a bit too on the darker side, but I totally get why it was added. This is good writing. The other stuff isn't. I hope that made sense. Anywho, the pacing of the story is a total mess. Is it about Yodo? No, Buzzo and Lisa and Brad. No, it's about Buddy. No, it's about Rando. On their own, they can be interesting things. Put them together in a short game, and it's a huge mess. It can feel off-putting. Honestly, this is one of the big reasons why I struggle to replay this game. I am aware that Joyful was made due to the Kickstarter goal being reached, but if I can offer my own fix to Joyful, why not make a lore book with artwork in it? You can tell each story in their own own section and give them the time they deserve. I genuinely believe that Joyful shouldn't have been a game, but hey, that's just my opinion. I'm aware that I'm being super critical of Joyful, but I am because I love the Lisa series. And yes, there are some things about Joyful which are unforgettable and amazing, and maybe there's a good game in here, but for a Lisa game, it's not it. It's not that great. But that's just my opinion. On July the 18th, 2023, Austin released Lisa the Definitive Edition. It's a soft remaster of Painful and Joyful, with some extra content. Unfortunately, it doesn't bundle Lisa the First, which sucks, because a lot more people should play that game, but oh well. So, what do I think about the Definitive Edition? It's okay. Sure, the Martin boss fight is really good, but the new Joy Mutant, it's kind of meh. It's just an American. It's nice that status effects are explained to you, and you can copy and delete saves, which is so nice. But easy mode is now a thing, which in my opinion, it shouldn't be in the game. The game's being painful is part of the story. This mode lessens the experience. It honestly feels like an artist trying to fix their artwork when it didn't need fixing in the first place. In Joyful, you now get Warlord skills after Buddy kills one. On paper, these are nice, but it isn't enough to fix the gameplay issues. Big L's one is the best, but you get it so late that you don't get much use from it, apart from the super boss, which to best, you shouldn't be fighting them. It's like one step forward, 2 steps backwards in this Definitive Edition. Okay, let's talk about the new content. The Martin super boss is really dope because it's painful. Remember, Brad had to deal with Martin for years. Plus, I like how if you lose party members, it's implied that Brad was the one who killed them since everything happened in his head. Also, I like the new addition of Brad's granddad. It's nice to see the person who saved Brad from Martin. Too bad he didn't save Lisa though. For Joyful's super boss, I hate it. It's really annoying to unlock and the fight itself feels broken. I know, you're not meant to fight the super boss, but trying to fight them, it's just so broken and unfair. It's dodge shit. Joyful gets a new ending. We can see an angel figure hugging Buddy. Well, maybe. It looks like Buddy, but she's wearing her old pancho and her scar is missing. In my opinion, this ending is a peaceful ending. Buddy has made peace with herself. She no longer wants bloodshed. I also appreciate that to get this ending, you have to not take joy. It must be said that I do appreciate that the Definitive Edition humanizes Lisa more. After besting Martin, we see an amazing imagery that shows us who really is the villain. For Joyful's new ending, we see Buddy calls out Bozo's bullshit about Lisa. I like to think that Austin realizes his tweet about Lisa being the worst person in the series is stupid, and he wanted to say sorry, so this was how he did it. Not to mention, the new edition of Campfire Talks is really cute. Unfortunately, if you play the Definitive Edition on PlayStation, there is censorship. Like some of the jokes have been altered, when you're playing Joyful, cigs are now candy, beer is soda, etc. It does suck, but blame that on Sony. So overall, the Definitive Edition has its moments, but a lot of the things just aren't good. If you're on PC, you can play the OG, so it doesn't really bother me that much. And I like to think that people are praising this edition purely because it's been so long since we got Lisa content, and nostalgia is playing the factor. Oh yeah, Austin nerfed the work harder music. The Definitive Edition is a 0 out of 10. So I know you may be wondering, Marcy, it's clear how the games are connected to each other. Lisa the First takes place before The Flash, then many years later we play as Brad in Painful, and in Joyful literally starts when Painful ends. Yes, technically that's true. However, in my opinion, what really truly connects the games together is generational trauma. Martin fell into alcoholism, which led him to abuse Lisa and Brad. In turn, this leads to the death of Lisa, and Brad believing it's his fault that Lisa died. Not being able to overcome his trauma, Brad ends up hurting Buddy. In turn, Buddy becomes someone who's obsessed with killing. Not to mention, Bozo was actually Lisa's friend, and when she died, he believed that Brad was the real monster who was responsible for her death. Throughout the series, we see this trauma return again and again. These characters can't escape it. They live in a world where they can't get the help they need, and it shows. In a sad way, the Armstrong family were doomed from the start. The only glimmer of light is that maybe, just maybe, Buddy can start humanity again. There is an outlier though. Rando, Dustin Armstrong. Not only did he endure face removing surgery from Buzzo, started his own army, and maintaining said army, he appears to be doing really well for himself. Not to mention Brad deserted him, yet he holds true to himself. Of course he's still human, and what he's been through does affect him, but it just shows you that some people, they're strong enough to overcome it. And Rando is an amazing character. Plus, this does connect to the real world as well. Abuse doesn't go away, and for some, they can't overcome it, move past from it. Personally speaking, without going into too much detail, I'm in a much happier place now, but I've never been in a darker one. In my opinion, that's what truly connects these games together. Trauma can affect anyone, and it can be passed down to the next generation. In these are the painful and kind of enjoyable, there are choices throughout that you must pick. In the short term, they feel impactful, but in the long term, they don't matter. Like, okay, you made Brad lose an arm for the Terry! If you keep him until the end, you have to fight him. Oh dear. You chose to sacrifice 3 men to spare Buddy losing a nipple. She doesn't even thank you. And by the end, Buddy still hates Brad for what he did to her. You spared Tony? He fights you anyway. Oh, you want to ask Buzzo a question to avoid making a choice? Well, screw you, worthless shit, kid. Lose your arm and your items. This is done intentionally. Like, the game doesn't even try to pretend there really is a choice in all of this. In my opinion, this hammers the sad reality that Brad, Lisa, and Buddy have no choice, or cannot see an alternative choice. Buddy sees men as pigs who want to hurt her. Brad is so narrow-minded that he even beats his own son to near death to quote-unquote save Buddy. Even though giving her to Randall is a really good option, he simply cannot see it. Lisa? She tried to escape the trauma. She tried to escape Martin, but she saw no choice and felt that suicide was the only solution. However, that doesn't mean they're not personal. Giving Brad's arm to save someone, you chose that. Not taking joy, even though Brad will turn, makes us feel a little better, like Brad tried to do good for Buddy. Of course, there are slightly different ending dialogues if you take joy or not. I truly believe that you can make those choices matter, and even if they're small ones, they're still impactful. If I may say, maybe life that you're living feels stale, and nothing changes. However, what you do matters. It matters to someone, even if you don't feel like they do. Wow, was that something nice coming from the Lisa series? Who would have guessed? Yeah, this is gonna be a small section, but fuck it, I still want to mention that these games are funny as hell. It has to be. Like, you use a child bicycle to travel faster in Painful. This bold man using a child's bike. The series is super depressing, and because of how direct it is about its darker themes, if the games had no jokes, it would truly be a painful experience. These edgy jokes are used to give a little break from the sad. For the most part, the balance is perfect. The darker stuff has time to breathe, and the funny jokes don't overstay their welcome. Of course, the jokes can be edgy, but I feel like they need to be to counter the darker stuff. You need something to make you go, what the fuck? After the depressing shit. And I know, one of you will ask, what's my personal favourite joke in the series? It's the fish courtroom. That scene kills me every time. Of course, this doesn't apply to Lisa the First. There are 2 difficulty modes in Lisa the Painful, Normal and Pain mode. In my opinion, this is one of the rare cases where the difficulty modes enhance the game. You see, most of the time, difficulty modes are just enemies take less damage, they do more damage to you, and you take more damage. If I'm being super serious, this is lazy and awful game design. However, Lisa the Painful does something a little different. It doesn't follow the trend of enemies doing more damage to you, because they already hit hard in normal mode. RIP. Instead, Pain mode gives you a whole new area to explore, a unique ending dialogues, different variations of fights you would do in normal mode, and new unique fights that only appear in Pain mode. You see, Pain mode is a lie. Its real name is Expansion mode, because that's what you're getting with this mode. However, as much as I love this mode, there is one thing about it which I don't like, and it's how the save crows act. In Pain, no, I'm not doing that again. In pain mode, you get one use, and that's it! This means you can't save scum. This isn't a deal breaker. I get why this was added, but in my opinion, this is the most painful thing about the game, gameplay wise. Think about it like this. What would the game mode lose without the trolls going bye bye? This feature is purely made to make the player suffer. Don't get me wrong, I do love this mode, and I play it a lot. So I'm used to this, and if I'm being super honest, this is a nitpick. I think pain mode is amazing, and this is how you do add difficulty modes to video games. This is a very interesting topic because, as mentioned, a lot of people stay clear from the series. The dark story combined with the cool gameplay. So what if the series was softer? Is that the right word? I don't know. Anyway, in my opinion, yes, more people would flock to the games. However, it would come at the cost of the series' identity. I remember a lot about the series because of those darker moments. They're unforgettable. The Russian roulette minigame will always make me nervous because there's a chance my party member will say goodbye forever and ever. And if you take away those moments, it would just be another RPG. This type of writing and gameplay is a creative decision, and it makes the Lisa series stand out. I'm glad that Austin never caved. I mean, he did add the easy mode, you wussy! But as a whole, it's still awesome that Austin didn't give in. The visuals are pretty trashy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. People really hype up graphics, but in my opinion, as someone who makes horror art pieces by degrading photos and sounds, we really need more games that look different. Yes, clean and pretty and sexy is nice, I love those, but sometimes dirty and trash is cool too. The Lisa series visuals make it stand out. It feels right for the story. Like, let's say Austin made a 3D remake of all 3 Lisa games. Everything from the Joy Mutants to the cutscenes were 3D and animated, like those old Final Fantasy cutscenes. Do you think the children with matches joke would work? Or would it be too disturbing? Would a visual of Buzzo cutting Buddy's nipple or Brad's arm in 3D make those moments even more horrible or unwatchable? Those moments were already tough to watch in 2D. Or how about the stuff in Lisa the First, which I dare not to mention? My point is, the trashy art style fits the Lisa series, and I'm glad that Austin didn't spend more time trying to make the visuals super pretty. To be honest, it would have worked against the games and the story. I'm addicted to this stupid soundtrack. Yes, it's stupid as hell, but it works so good. I love it! I even use it as background music for my videos, and I get comments saying, what the hell's playing in the background? I also listen to it when I'm exercising. Seriously, like what the fuck is 666 Kill Chop 2 Lots? And it's fucking air horns! If I may be serious, well I mean I am serious, I also love how the same music is used but there are slight differences. In my opinion, this goes hand in hand with the theme of memory. Sometimes it changes. We remember something differently. It's a small change, but a noticeable one. I like it. And this is all memorable. Like, I love the soundtrack so much. By the way, not all of the soundtrack is stupid. Some of them, like Voices and Love, makes me break down and cry. Thank you, Widdy Doo Tiddy. By the way, it must be said L for Austin when he was taking down videos of the different variations of music in the Lisa series. I know, it's his music and he has an official playlist, however, the different variations of those soundtracks aren't in those playlists, or in the soundtrack DLC. Add them, you bastard! This is arguably one of the more difficult things to answer. If you're being literal, memory is a powerful thing, life is painful and hates you, your friends will one day abandon you in one way or another, drugs are bad, women are the key to saving the world, men are perverts, all your choices mean nothing, Brad was dead for 35 years but one day he chooses to live, and Randall did nothing wrong. See what I mean? It's bloody depressing. But I did do some thinking, and in my opinion, I think the series is about pushing forward. I know that's what Brad did and it ruined Buddy's best chance of a peaceful life. Worth the shit, kid! What I'm trying to say is that life is pain. We will all have to deal with hardship, loss of friends and family, and this will all suck. Yet, we cannot give up on our dreams. What makes us happy? The second you give up, you've lost. Game over. Buddy went after the list. Brad went after Buddy. Lisa, the child who endured so much pain and suffering. She tried to escape the trauma. And even though it was too much for her, she still tried. And that's fucking precious. That makes her strong. That makes her inspirational. I am curious to hear what you think the series means to you. For fud's sake, even as a joy mutant, Brad is like, buddy, I'm coming for you! At one time, people started to compare Lisa with Undertale. It made sense, both were inspired by the Mother series. What I really like about this is for the most part, people weren't trying to say one was better than the other. They were saying that they're both amazing games in their own unique way. Lisa is way more direct about it. The battle system, collecting parts for a boat, the music, the weird background and fights, etc. In Undertale, it's more subtle, with character designs and the jokes. Undertale is its own thing, but Lisa is a depressing version of Mother 2. I was really late playing the Mother series. A matter of fact, I played the Lisa series and Undertale first, then the Mother series. From the get-go, when I played Mother 2, I was like, wow, this reminds me of Lisa. Oh my god, Austin really loves Mother 2. So yeah, I kind of fooled you lot into thinking this was going to be a versus section with a bloodbath. No. But, you know, I feel a little bit bad for not giving you one, so let's talk about MatPat. Oh boy, you thought I forgot about him. In my humble opinion, his playthrough of Lisa, he never finished it by the way, proves he's a phony. A fake. This guy states Mother 2 is his favourite game ever and ever and ever, and insert personal story and blah blah blah, the ending made me cry, blah blah blah, wah wah wah. I know I'm being mean, but fuck him, fake people are the worst. But MatPat, while you were playing Lisa the Painful, why didn't you notice the many alarming similarities between Lisa and Mother 2? I did instantly. I honestly think of the Mother series when I play Lisa. Then this guy goes, oh, this reminds me of Undertale. I don't care if this is a stretch. I genuinely believe he never played Mother 2. There's no live streams or proof, only his word. Yet you can't ignore how much Mother 2 is in Lisa. If you played Mother 2 and Lisa, you will understand that Lisa is the biggest love letter to Mother 2. But MatPat doesn't see it. Also, it doesn't help that this guy, this faker, read scripts that people wrote for him. Like, how fake are you? Like, seriously, you can't write a script? You can't experience a movie or a video game, so you have to let other people write one for you? Jesus, what a fucking fake. Now, some of you may be thinking, okay, this is the part where Marcy's like, I don't hate the guy, he means well, and Marcy probably hates the role he plays. No, fuck that. MatPat is a phony. MatPat makes fake video essays. MatPat doesn't play the video games or watch the movie he talks about. Other people write scripts for him to read. MatPat, please, keep Mother 2 out of your fucking mouth. I want to give Austin, the developer of the series, his own section. As I said before, in my opinion, he is a very weird person. The Bolo situation and Buddy having a flash move. I do not want to think the worst about Austin, but those sort of things do ring alarm bells for me. Maybe it takes a really weird person to make the Lisa series. In addition, we can't forget that he once said that Buddy and Lisa are the worst characters in his opinion. I know he deleted those tweets and he doesn't stand by that anymore. I'm saying what he has said in the past. That's all. I don't know. Maybe he's just weird about women. I want to make it clear again, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he's super bloody weird. However, I don't want that to be the focus on his section. Austin is kind of a wild person. He knows how to use weapons, how to fight, looks like a model, oh my god, makes sick ass music, and like, so much more. It does make me wonder what his next game will be, if he ever makes another game. To my knowledge, this is the only thing we know about his next game. Maybe it has nothing to do with his next game, I don't know. I do want to say this though, I am hurt. Austin, you laid out a bait and I took a bite and I love it. Even though I don't follow you on socials, I have my eyes on you. I will be waiting for the next game you make. And if you do another Kickstarter, like for Lisa the Painful, I will pledge. By the way, did you know one of the awards for the Lisa the Painful Kickstarter was nipple t-shirts? Man, I want one of those. Bring them back! But alas, maybe Austin, just like the Mother series creator Shigeshi Itoi, I swear I don't think I said that right, wanted to make 3 games and be done with it. Regardless, I have my eyes on you, Austin. Ooh! People love the OG series so much that it led to fan games being made. Look at this fucking wiki page! And to be honest, some of them aren't that bad. Some are so good that I even made crossplay videos, used music from the fan games for my YouTube videos, and I unironically listen to them every day. For real, it's so amazing. Now, it must be said that sometimes it does get out of hand, like mods of existing fan games. You know, they'll do the whole, let's put these fan-made characters from this fan game into this fan game, and also revamp this fan game with this fan game. It's wild! Like, these are the Pointless is going to have a monster update. That's still in development, by the way. So what do the fans of this fan game do? They expanded the first chapter like 1 billion times! It's nuts! So many people ask me to play them, and I'm like, there's too many! Which one? It's so ridiculous, but at the same time, it's so fucking cool. We're finally here. Why can't I move on from this series? Why do I keep making videos about it? Why won't I forget this series? To be honest, I don't know. I just love it. It's just so different. Even with my issues with Joyful, it still feels like it belongs in Lisa. I guess if I had to give an answer, the Lisa series is for outcasts, the weirdos, the losers, the rejects, the disgracefuls. This series isn't for normies. They simply wouldn't understand it. It's very rare I say this about a game, but when I play the Lisa games, I feel like I belong. The only other games that really do that for me is the OG Silent Hill games, especially Silent Hill 2. So what I'm saying is, really depressing games make me happy. I don't know. I don't fucking know. So, am I going to keep making Lisa videos and cosplays? Yes. Will I make a fan game? Fuck no. So, to end this section, do I recommend the series? Well, to paraphrase my bestie, and adding my own spin to it, the Lisa series is beautiful and horrifying. An experience that is unforgettable and one that will leave its mark on you. Be warned, this isn't for everyone, and it's okay to not play the series. But, if you do take a chance with it, I wish you the best of luck, because once you finish the series, it will never leave you. And it's funny as fuck. That's it. Done. Video over. No more. Get out. I hope I did an okay job explaining why I can't forget the Lisa series, and giving it the love it deserves. Mostly anyway. I think it's about time I make a video essay on Silent Hill 2. Yeah! Silent Hill 2. Wait, the video isn't over yet! The one and only KurokiHollow made the sick-ass thumbnail. It's so beautiful. It really captures my feelings on the Lisa series! For real, they are so talented. So what the fuck are you waiting for? Their links are in the description. Commission them, follow them, send them some love. Do it. Yeah, they make the not safe for work stuff. So you know, be careful. But so what? They also make the safe for work stuff too. Support KurokiHollow now. Do it, or else I'll cut off one of your arms. And just to be on the safe side, that was a joke referencing the game. For real, please support KurokiHollow. They're so amazing and they deserve so much more love and support.